Hi and welcome guys, Castle Queenside here. Today we have another great game on our hands. This one was played between Ludvig, Norwegian Grandmaster who was playing with white, and Magnus Carlsen, world champion of course, who was playing with black pieces. This game was played online. It was a blitz game, and what is interesting about this game is that Ludvig created an astonishing attack and managed to checkmate Magnus Carlsen with en passant checkmate, believe it or not. So really unique and really rare and definitely worth seeing. So let's go straight into the game. The game started with e4 for Hammer, g6 for Magnus, d4 and e6. Magnus already trying to go around the theory. So Hammer continues with knight f3, Magnus goes knight e7, and now Hammer starts immediately with h4. The idea is to attack on h5 with the pawn. Magnus plays h6. Simply in the case that Hammer tries h5, Magnus will just play g5 and block this attack. Bishop f4 was played for Hammer, just keeps continuing his development, and bishop g7 for Magnus. Queen d2 was played now for Ludvig Hammer, already putting a pressure on this pawn. For now this pawn is protected, but it is stopping Magnus from castling, because in that case this pawn will fall. d5 was played for Magnus with the idea to just attack the center. e5 played by Hammer, now blocking this bishop on g7, a good move by Hammer, and c5 for Magnus. Magnus is trying right now to dissolve the white center by any means necessary. That is the reason why Hammer plays c3, trying to protect this pawn and keep this pressure in the center. Knight b on c6 was played for Magnus Carlsen, and knight a3 was played for Hammer. Idea is to go on b5 and then go on d6 and create some trouble in the black camp. So that is the reason why Magnus played king f8. Because he is unable to castle kingside, he will now try to go on g8 and then maybe h7 and go into artificial castle to try and connect the rooks on the 8th rank. D takes on c5, since now it's undefended. Hammer uses this advantage and takes the pawn. b6 was played for Magnus with the idea to involve his queen as well, and Hammer takes this pawn. Magnus continues with queen takes on b6, and now bishop d3 was played. Obviously Hammer's intentions are clear. He wants to create an attack on the king's wing. Bishop a6 for Magnus was played, which is a good move, trying to remove this strong bishop, and b4 was played for Hammer. Right now the idea for Hammer is to play b5 and fork one of the Magnus's pieces. Magnus doesn't care about that and he plays d4, and now we will see what's the idea behind that. So the basic idea what was played in the game was b5. Obviously this move was left undefended and Hammer played it, but now after d takes on c3 in the game, queen e3 was played. But we will see what would happen if, for example, Hammer, instead of going on e3, queen c3 was played. So queen taking on c3. So Magnus counted that with knight goes on d5 first, forking the queen and the bishop. So the best move here for white is to take this knight. Queen takes on c6, b takes on c6, and bishop takes on d3, with equal game for black and white as well. So that's the idea. So material is the same and the game is pretty equal. That was the idea behind that. As I mentioned, the queen e3 was played in the game, but the best continuation for white was queen e2. Right now, after knight d4, again the fork, knight takes on d4, queen takes on d4, bishop e3 attacking the Magnus's queen, queen a4, b takes on a6, and queen takes on a3, and castle kingside for the white. This was another possible continuation with a small advantage for white. So after queen e3 was played, of course Magnus plays the move that he counted on, which is knight d5, queen takes on b6, a takes on b6, b takes on a6, knight takes on f4, and already in this position Magnus is doing better. So Magnus played this really well. So he managed to counterattack and create a counterplay, and now he is doing better. Bishop e4 was played since the bishop on d3 was attacked, now pinning this rook on a8. Magnus takes on a6, and bishop takes on c6. Rook takes on a3, and now really unusual move for Hammer. He went castle queenside, and the reason is just taking advantage of this weak file, this weak d file, and trying to check the black king. In this position Magnus played king g8, and even though this pawn is hanging, this would be a draw. I will show you right now. So after castle queenside, in case black decides to take this pawn, there is a rook d8 check, king e7, and rook d7 check. The king has to go back on e7 again. Sorry. If the king decides to go on e8, this is a mistake, because right now there is a rook a7 check and black rook will fall. So it will be a draw. Magnus of course didn't want a draw in this game. So after king g8, rook d8 was played, and now Magnus made a mistake and played king h7. The best continuation was bishop f8, but after this king h7 there is a forced checkmate sequence and a beautiful attack that Hammer managed to find. Can you spot the right move in this position for the white? I will give you a few seconds. So the best move is knight g5 check. Obviously there is no other moves for black but to take this with h takes on g5, which continues with h takes on g5 check. In the game knight h5 was played, but we will see what would happen if after h takes on g5, for example, the black decided to defend with bishop h6. Then the game would continue with rook h6 check, king g7, and rook d takes on h8, and the game is over. So there is no way the black can escape this checkmate. The only way he can try is maybe give some checks and delay the checkmate, but there is no saving from the checkmate. So we will return to our position. After h takes on g5, knight h5 was played, and another great move by Hammer, a devastating attack with rook takes on h5 check. Obviously another obvious move, and the only move for black is g takes on h5, and after bishop e4 check, the only move for black in this position is f5, and what follows is e takes on f6 en passant checkmate. So yeah, this is the way that Hammer finished Magnus. Truly an amazing way to win a game, and really rare. And hopefully you enjoyed this game. If you did, please leave a comment, like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me as I'm trying to grow my channel. And of course, thank you for watching. As always, we will see each other in the next video. Thank you and bye bye.